Yes, we're back. We're back. Patterdale Talk Wednesdays. I am Woodz. As you guys, most of you guys already know if you've been here before. And yeah, every Wednesday we talk about the dog we love, or one of the dogs we love, the Patterdale Terrier. Everyone in here, most of the people that tune in here currently have a Patterdale Terrier, and it's summertime, so no matter where you're at, you're hunting. Some people just tune in to learn more about the Patterdale. This is also a reason why I started this live with my good friend Marshall. He couldn't be with us. He's for the next couple of shows, Marshall won't be with us. To be honest, he's handling some things at home, got a newborn and things like that. So yeah, the next couple of shows I'll be alone, but we'll still be interviewing people and stuff like that. Today we're not gonna interview anyone. Today I want to talk about trackers, Peeps tracker or whatever you have, any type, whatever type tracker you use, whatever, as far as locating your dog in the ground. If you had a bad experience while out hunting with your dog, with your tracker, where the tracker was acting up or something was in the way, something currently happened this weekend, which I'm tell you a little about. Basically, some had a little trouble with a tracker locating a dog, and it was coming to find out there was a reason why there was something in the ground that was messing the tracker up a little. And was wondering if anyone, because those of you who know me know that I'm new to the Patterdale world, been locked in hard lately, but yeah, if you have ever had any trouble out in the field, out hunting with whatever tracker you was using. As far as my story, a couple of days ago, last weekend, was out hunting, dog in the ground, and the tracker was like basically saying the arrow, as you know that these trackers have arrows, that the dog was one way, which it wasn't, and we was wondering why. So kept trying it out, figuring it out. Finally, we did figure out where the dog was and all that. But come to find out, where we was digging, there was like I'm love. There was like man-made concrete in the way, in the ground next to where the dog was at, and it was causing the tracker to knock off. The arrows were showing the wrong way. Is anyone ever dealt with anything like that in the past, or present, or current, or recently? And if you have, what type tracker it was? I was using. Let me see if I can pull it up. I was using this Peeps. I think the one I got is a little newer, but pretty much the same thing. The one that I'm got the arrow on right now, pretty much the same thing. And these arrows right here was ricocheting, I guess, off the concrete, or off the rock, because there was concrete and rock, but I'm guessing it was the concrete. I don't know if there was something in the middle of the concrete or whatever the case might be, but either way, it was giving us the wrong reading. It was telling us the dog was one way and the dog was the other way. We ended up figuring out, but actually when we dug, that's when we ended up realizing that there was concrete down there. Um, if any of you guys ever used this Peeps and had an issue, yeah, put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. But yeah, basically we ended up finding a dog, which is cool. But yeah, it was knocking everything out. Underground trackers are all new to me. Jamie Park says, "Good evening, sir. The underground trackers are all new to me. 90% of my hunting is done above ground, so I use a garment." Let me pull that up. So you never used these at all, Jamie? Okay. Yeah, above tracker. That makes sense. You never used these at all before, though, as far as the peeps. Yeah, for those who just tuned in, we're talking about trackers. If you ever had a problem with a tracker, locating the dog, what type of tracker it was. I was explaining that the other day we was out hunting and we was using a tracker, and come to find out there was like concrete in the ground. So I don't know if it was ricocheting or whatever the signal or whatever it was, but these arrows was showing us one way when the dog was the other way. And I'm guessing it has never happened before, but obviously I haven't been out a million times, but some of the people I was with have been doing this for years, and they've never seen it happen. So I don't know if there was something in the concrete, something around the concrete, or what the case might be, or maybe it was just the tracker itself, and I need a thing. But honestly, we tried like 2 trackers that day, and it seemed like they were doing the same thing. So that's what we're talking about right now, as far as what's going on in the live. Digging into our own concrete pile, old steel piles is my worst. Yeah, it was actually on the ground, so it seemed fine. It seemed like dirt. There was maybe some rocks on top over, but that's always the case sometimes, no matter where you're at. But yeah, this was like, I guess they built like a barrier. At one point, someone built like a barrier underground or something for something, and it was messing the tracker up. Yeah, in Florida, there's no need to them. Yeah, you're not digging in Florida. Yeah, of course. Those who know Biggs knows Biggs. Where he's at, there's a whole bunch of game and groundhogs and stuff like that, and yeah, he uses them a lot. I learned a lot from Biggs, and yeah, I'll ask him. I'm not sure if, yeah, he's not in here yet, but I'll ask him if he's ever had any problems with it. But yeah, that's what happened to us this weekend. It doesn't seem like it happens often, but I don't know if there's like man-made concrete and whatever else is in the concrete in the ground often either. So, you know. But yeah, if you had any that ever happened to you, just put in the comments. I'll put it up on the screen. Another thing we're gonna talk about is what dogs do you like to work with your pets? If you use any dog to work with your Patterdale, what type of dog is it? Is it I know a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. I know some people that I know use lurchers, or some people just use whatever other dog they have. If they have coyotes and stuff like that, they might use like a Pressa, or like I said, a lurcher or anything like that. What dogs do you do if you have a preference of using a dog to hunt with your Patterdale? What dog is it? What type of dog is it? Jamie, do you what type of dogs do you use besides the Patterdale? And of course, I know you use the Patterdale, but is there any other dogs that you hunt with your Patterdale? And if so, what's your preference? Like, what's your favorite dog to hunt with your Pat? Right now, as far as me, I don't really, I've not, I haven't really hunted my Patterdale with any dog, so I really don't have a too much experience with it, or a favorite dog yet to hunt with my Patterdale. I'll be looking more into it to learn more about it, if it's even necessary where I'm at. But yeah, yeah, they are. They're what is okay. Yeah, there goes our bigs right there. It was slate rocks, but he had poured concrete, and it could have been other stuff. Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah, as you already know, bro, it was Yeah, it was messing up the trackers. So I guess it was the concrete or whatever else was in the concrete. Again, I'm not sure. But I'm new to the Pats. Where do you buy an underground collar? There's a website. Let me see if I could pull it up. Because Flint and I don't know, Biggs could tell you. Biggs, put it in the comments. I forget the name of it. I forget the name of it. Let me see. Bellman and Flint, if you go on their website, you can find the collars. They do sell trackers too. Um, they do sell trackers. They tell the location collars. That's where you would get those. But as far as the trackers, everyone suggests to get a Peeps tracker. Yeah, Bellman and Flint. If you go to their I can't find the website, but if you go to their website, you could buy them there, like a couple $100s, and they have the trackers too, but those trackers don't work as good as the Peeps. So everyone normally just grabs the collar, the charger, of course, a couple magnets to turn the collar off and on, and a Peeps tracker because I guess they work better than the Bell and Flint trackers. Some, I mean, I haven't seen anyone, but you might be able to find someone selling them used. But maybe the Peeps you can find used on eBay and stuff like that. But as far as the collars, most of the people have the. I haven't seen anyone selling them. Anyone who has the collars normally keeping them for themselves. But yeah, Biggs is in here, Jamie's in here. Let me ask you guys: is there any certain type of dog that you got that's like that you like to hunt with your Patterdale? If you have a favorite type of dog that you like to hunt with your Patterdale, what is it? Is it a lurcher? Is it a Malinois, a Presser, a bull? Just any other dog that can handle a coyote, or just do you have a favorite in general? Biggs, I know you got all types of dogs. I know you got a lurcher. Is Sam your favorite dog to run with your Patterdales? If you do bring a dog out with your Patterdales? Yeah, Dapper Trapper. Yep, yep. You can check them out. Collars ain't cheap though. That's the only thing that sucks. Big said Presser and Malinois. Those are your two favorite. So, oh, actually, I was actually talking about this earlier. We could talk about it because so Biggs. I know Biggs has a Presser, but he's saying I mean Biggs has a Lurcher, but he rather his Malinois and the Presser. Probably because where he's at, there's some nice coyotes too. But what's the Lurcher cross y'all like best? I think that's I was talking about it earlier with my cousin, but I think it's just probably like your preference. Me, I'm not. I haven't worked with enough lurchers to really say like what's the best. You know what I mean? But I know when you ask questions like this, normally it's kind of like depending on what you're using them for. Obviously, a lot of people like the speed, so they're gonna keep a lot of greyhound in it. Well, I don't even think it's considered a lurcher if it doesn't have greyhound in it. Big says greyhound, border collie, pit bull. Yeah, I think everything's pretty much when they try to make it better, they throw a pit bull in it. But I could see that because border collies are smart as shit. They do a lot. Greyhounds for the speed, pit bull for the muscle and the hold. I could see that. As I know a lot of people have what's those Irish wolfhounds in some of their lurchers. Or at least that's what I think they're mixing them with. Which makes sense if you're getting it for like coyotes and stuff. Dapper Trapper, do you have a favorite Lurcher Cross, or you just asking, you're just learning about them like myself, or do you have a favorite, or have you ever worked with them before? Jamie Parker, you worked with Lurchers before? I know my bro Marshall has a nice Lurcher that he works with. Henry's nice size Lurcher, big, strong, fast as hell. Works him up good. And another thing we was gonna talk about, and if you want to still comment on that, we could yeah, Henry is Sam's brother. Yep. Henry Sam's brother. I never had been around that shit. Yeah. I recently just got around them being around like Marshall and Biggs. Obviously people who have them already, but yeah, I like them. At first I wasn't really too into them until you kind of like really understand what they're basically making these dogs for, breeding these dogs for, then it makes a lot more sense. Do you have a question for the obviously for the people like Biggs or Parker or people who've been hunting Patterdales for a while? Do you like a Patterdale that searches long? Meaning like when we was out this weekend, some of the people had Patterdales that would like, they would go search for about a minute or two, see if they come some holes, see if they find some holes, then come back and check in with their owner. Then you would have some dogs where they would be gone for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes searching and just probably just really didn't come back to they scan the whole area. You like dogs that double back quicker, might go 30, 40 yards, then double back. Or do you like a Patterdale that searches like 5, 10 minutes and just kind of like keep searching until he finds something. Me personally, I like them. I mean, I don't know. As far as my experience in it lately, I rather a dog that double backs and check in a little more than to go so far, and then you might not even know what hole he went into. You know what I mean? But I guess it's your preference. And it's also what you're hunting too and where you're hunting. If you're hunting somewhere where there's like, where you're hunting for coon and stuff like that, obviously, that you'll probably figure out what hole they went into because they're not as small. And sometimes they're not even in holes, they're in brush piles. But yeah. Do you like a dog that searches long, doubles back, quick, check in, goes about 30, 40 yards, comes back? Big said, if it's searching, you're not worried about me. I like, yeah. Okay, so that I like that too, but what if you have one of them dogs that just goes far to the point where you don't even and people spoke about it here on this podcast before, or this live before, that if your dog, like say your dog goes a mile, half a mile, now you don't know what hole it went into. Now you got to catch up to your dog and figure out what hole it went into because your dog goes so far. My job is to keep up. Okay. But if you got a dog that goes half a mile, 4 legs gone, I don't know how, you know what I mean? I don't know how good you're gonna keep up with that. But it all depends what you like. And then I'm pretty sure some people, if they have a bigger size dog, they're not too worried because it's a little bigger. If you have a smaller dog that could just dip into any hole, you might be a little bit more worried. Again, me personally, I would probably a dog that searches, a couple minutes, doubles back, and then as we keep it moving, keep searching like that. Cover this area, come back, move along, cover this area, come back. Man of Steel says you're not keeping up with a dog that ranges far. Yeah, and now that's my thing. Like how, and some of these dogs are so small, they're going into, the forest, into, wherever you might not see them. So what if it's that case where it's like he said, how are you keeping up with a dog that's just bolting or fast searching and going up a mile and a half, or even a quarter mile, and now you got to figure out what hole it went into and all that. Because I've seen some dogs that were like, they were going pretty far. They were going in one end and coming out a whole nother side of the farm type thing. So they should stay within certain distance. Yeah, that's what I would hope. I want a dog that stays within like a certain distance. Like I said, it'd be 30, 40, 50 yards, checks, double back, something like that. That's how you lose your dog, poor man. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you would lose a dog like that if you got a dog that's stretching out far and you can't keep up with it. Again, these trackers don't work. Like, I mean, if you have if you have a GPS track on the dog, I guess you'll figure it out. But as soon as it gets in, if it does dip into a hole, that's gonna go off too. So gonna have to combine the Bellman and Flint with the German Collie. Yeah, but again, the Bellman and Flints don't track like that. Like you kind of like gotta know what hole at least your dog went into, and then the German collars, they're gonna, I mean, the Garmin, they're gonna disappear. The location is gonna disappear once they go in ground because they don't work underground. So it's definitely a risk. I know there's a lot of people. As far as now, I think a lot of people free cast more than they used to. Before, a lot of people scout holes out and find them, and then bring the dog to the hole. Where some people just free cast where the dog finds the hole. Period. Me, I like both. I think it depends where you're at, the terrain, and where you're at. I think free casting is good, open fields and stuff like that. But certain areas where there might be big ass foxes or a lot of coyotes and some of that free casting could get dangerous with a Patterdale that's 13 pounds, or my Patterdale, she's only 10 pounds. She probably won't even grow no more. Yeah, no, your dogs don't go far. Now, my cousin Keith's dog, boom, that's a whole nother case. That dog be gone. Same thing with my bro. He recently got a Patterdale Petey, and Petey he goes kind of far. He goes a nice little distance. Yeah, yeah. That's another thing about the collars. You can't with these dogs. You can't have a whole bunch of collars on them because it's just they could get stuck. You know what I mean? It's a hazard. So yeah, the Garmin collars are too big, and yeah, like I said, once they go on the ground, you're gonna lose connection. So that's probably not gonna work. The best thing probably to do is have a dog that double back after a certain time or a certain amount of yards, not to have a dog, or train your dog not to go too far, especially because they're small. They're good for groundhogs and stuff like that. But even like a big coon can take out a Patterdale. Do you like pets? Did I miss any of these comments? Make sure I didn't miss one. No, we caught up. Yeah, so the as far as the trackers, As far as the trackers, I know there's the green and yellow one. There's a couple of different trackers. Which one, if, as far as the peep trackers, which ones do you guys like best? It seems to me like I guess the older one, the green and one and yellow one, kind of works. Since from what I've seen, I'm gonna pull it up. This one right here seems to be like people's favorite and work the best. I've worked with it before, and I like it a little bit more than the newer one that I have. That is kind of like this one. Oh, actually, no, this is it right here. Yeah, this is the one I have right here. And from my experience, these ones are a little better, which is crazier because I think that's the older model. But yeah, it is what it is. You said the blue one works good too. You talking about this one right here? I've never seen this one. Like, I never used this one yet. But it looks like the yellow. Is this the model before or after the yellow one? Do any of y'all know? Biggs might know, or Parker might know. Well, actually, no. Parker said he used them like that, but Biggs might know. Yeah, but either way, it seems like the green and yellow ones are the way to go. So someone like Dapper Trapper who might be looking to grab one, I would try to find this green one right here. Most of the people I've worked with have these, and they seem to work the best. So the blue one works just like the green one. That's what Man of Steel said. The blue one works just like the green one. So get either of those. You can find those are easier to find used on eBay than the collars. Plus, you can do multiple dogs with the green and blue one. Yeah, you could do multiple dogs with this one too. Yeah, you could do. I think you could do multiple dogs with all of them because they're really made for like avalanche. Finding people who fell in the avalanche, so got trapped in the avalanche, I should say. So they'll track several dogs, but that's another thing too. Even that when there's several dogs in the ground, and that's a good question. How many dogs do you like to go out with at once? Because I know some people like one or two. Some people will, don't mind more. But again, if you have like three dogs in the ground, the tracker's gonna go crazy because it's gonna pick up on all three of them. So would you rather have two dogs or one dog in the ground, two dogs in the ground? If there's several holes, are you putting dogs in each hole to cover any escape routes, or what's your preference on the amount of dogs? You can only do one dog with the red box. You're talking about the red box from the, that Bell and Flint made, right? Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people, from what I heard, they don't last as long as the peeps. Like they break easier, which they look like they break easier too. Big as shit and chunky, and the plastic on them ain't really that strong. One dog in the ground, man, still says. Yeah, I mean. That's what we do. We cover the holes with a shovel, or if you happen to have a net, depending on what your whatever hole you're in. But I mean, if it's a groundhog or a fox or a rabbit or something like that, the net's gonna catch it. Or what we do is we'll put a shovel there and block it off that way. Have someone stand there with a shovel and block it off with the shovel. That way the dog can't get out. I mean, not the dog. The whatever you're catching can't escape. But Man still says one dog in the ground at a time. I've seen people do it that way. Recently we was out this weekend. I'm not gonna lie, we there was at one point we had two, maybe three dogs in the ground, you know. obviously going in the same burrows and stuff like that. What's your preference? Man of Steel says 1. Biggs Park, I know y'all have been doing this for years. What's your preference? 1 dog in the ground, 2 dogs. And why? Why, Man of Steel, why only 1 dog? Is it because of the tracker going crazy? Because that would be my reason. Is like, especially now that we dealt with the problem we dealt with over the weekend, where the tracker was ricocheting off concrete or whatever it might be. I would definitely from now on just doing. What's up, Anthro? Talking about a couple of different things. We're talking about collars. Talking about what dog you would like your pet to hunt with. Talking about lurcher mixes. Talking about do you like Patterdales that go check for long distances or go far out, or pats that might go 30, 40 yards and come back and check in and then, do it that way. Right now we're talking about how many dogs you would like in the hole, or what's your preference of dogs in the ground when you're out hunting. Do you mind 1, 2? Do you mind 2, 3, or 4? Or you rather have just 1? I know Man of Steel said 1. I know as far as when I'm talking to Marshall rather have just 1 in the ground, and not even that many Patterdales even brought out. You know what I mean? Maybe like 3 or 4 at once, 3 tops, and then even with those 3, only 1 in the ground at once if you could help it. Sometimes if your dogs are free ranging, they're just gonna go in the ground. Big said 1 dog, but like the situation that y'all had 6 holes and a fox was running down. Yeah, all over the This weekend we had a found a couple holes, ended up being a fox, and it was in like a mountain. But as you guys know who hunt, foxes have, they make a whole bunch of escapes. They make a whole bunch of tunnels within the mountain. So with what we was dealing with is he was running. We had dogs covering several holes because he was running back and forth inside the pile from one end to one end. So he would see 1 dog and then try to escape and try to go the other way. But he had a whole bunch of holes. Like there was probably like, yeah, I think there was more than 6 even bigs. Because you know how foxes are. Then of course there was a little air holes, but we wasn't worried about those. Those were obviously too tiny for a fox. But yeah, in that case, it made it made I would say it made sense to have several dogs at different holes, because the manpower we had, and then there wasn't the fox had so many ways to get away, and then he still got away through a whole nother hole that we didn't even see, to be honest. Do you have call? Do you have call back? Yeah, whistle. You have call back. So I see. I'm assuming everyone's reading what Griff is saying. I get what you're saying. Callback whistle. The whole thing with the callback is what I learned recently is that you could call you don't want to call your dog back and end it, like say your dog engages in something and then you call it back. You can end up messing that up. Or if your dog even gets a hold of something, even worse, where your dog gets a hold of something and then you call it back, the dog might let go, which means whatever it was holding could now get a hold of it because it let go, worried about you calling it back. So it's kind of like, which sucks, is you kind of like, you know what I mean, you gotta just kind of like let them hunt, and then most 90% of these dogs are gonna alert when they find something. You're gonna hear a bark, you're gonna hear a growl, you hear stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, people don't call them back because it's a risk. So, but I mean, that was my first thing when I got into the Patterdale was like, yeah, you just work on the recall. But from what I've seen, most of these dogs, once if they see something, they're not coming back. Like from once if they're searching around and don't see something, they might come back. But if they find something in a hole, they're not coming back. You're gonna have to go find them. And for the most part, that's how people want them. They don't want a dog who will just come back. They want them. They want a dog that's gonna find something, stay there. You know what I mean? But just the way these dogs are built, just the way these dogs are built. Most of them, once that shit clicks in their head, they don't come back anyway. They don't even hear you. It's like they just tap. Smaller sets can only fit one, but I've seen multiple dogs raised together and hunt larger sets together. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Depends what you're dealing with. Like I said, we was dealing with that fox and several holes. I think it was more than six. We probably covered about because we covered. I think we had three dogs. Yeah, we had four dogs. So there was four holes covered. Then we covered one with a shovel, so that was five. Then my other man's had one covered with a shovel, and the thing still got out of hole. Like so, I said there was at least seven holes, maybe eight, and the fox still got out of a hole that we didn't see, whole another little side hole. So that fox got away because having all them dogs in the ground confused them all. Let the dogs use the nose and work. That could be true too. That could be true too. You know, you know, it is what it is. But from what it looked like, we had the fox wouldn't. It was a matter of just the dogs digging more and getting into it. But again, there was a whole nother hole that we didn't even see that he got out of. Mono of kind, I disagree. What do you what do you disagree with? Dogs grabbing each other, cover the hose, having this. I don't know if the dogs are, yeah, I don't if yeah. If that dog's I can see if the dog's going behind another dog, it might grab it accidentally. But if there's a dog, if you got dogs that are trying to grab another dog why it's like in a hole or hunting, that dog probably should have been left at the kennel anyway. If that's what you mean, man of steel. Because I could imagine if you send the same dog in the same hole, though. I mean, two dogs in the same hole, then yeah, it might grab onto the other one. But if they're like in two different holes, they should be able to, you know what I mean? Realize that that's not a dog and keep it pushing. Very true. Yep. I'm pretty sure everyone agrees with that, man. Still, you see your dog's worth when it works on its own in the ground. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty sure everyone here agrees with that. When you use that many dogs now, the dog is hearing a bunch of noise and not following the nose. I think it all depends on the dog. And you're right. You're right. You're right. I mean, it could just hear another dog, digging and go that way because it hears it. And then you might some dogs that they're using their nose. Period. It doesn't matter what they hear. Because I've seen dogs that just just straight nose dogs. Like they're just using their nose. Period. Doesn't matter what else. But again, I'm pretty sure all of it can happen. Dogs in the ground focus on sound, not noise. Disagree with what? The whole den is scented, so everything is smelling the same. That's true. That's true. I think there might be if say if it's like a den that's not been used lately, then the smell's a little dull, but yeah, if there's a fox running through all the holes recently, then yeah, they're pretty much gonna smell the same. When you have 4 to 6 different holes, they're all eventually gonna meet up. What do you think is gonna happen when they strong fox smell? Yeah, there we go. Man, it's still gold. They use both, trust me. They can't see, they're using their nose and ears. You should come down here. We can easily prove that theory. Yeah, that's one thing about Biggs. If he's always willing to, you could always go out to New York and not hunt with them and test out any theory or anything you guys might not agree on and figure it out together. But I think from what's being said, I mean, I think it all depends on the dog. You got some dogs that are gonna use their nose, period. They're just that way. You know what I mean? And you got some dogs that might you listen a little more. So I think it all depends on the dog as far as that case. Because I've seen some dogs that use their nose like, I mean, they put their nose to the air to find a scent that way. And then I've seen some dogs that just, it seems like they just search, you know what I mean? And then they might sniff out, they'll find a hole and then try to, you know what I mean? They'll put their nose in the hole and sniff and see what's going on, but they're not really sniffing the air type thing. Stop this. Um, I already proved it many times. I'm sure you have. And it's still, you never know, I might pop up. Oh, so have I. Yeah, I mean, again, I think you're both correct. I think it's gonna come down to the dog. I think you got some dogs, again, they're gonna use their nose a lot more than another dog. And the same thing with Griff was asking about the recrawl. I think the same thing. At most Patterdales, from what I've seen, I mean, the real workers, they're not coming back. If they find some and you call them, they're not coming back. Anthro says different strokes for different folks. Shows the versatility in the terrier. Agree. Think we all agree with that. We all love the Patterdale Terrier. Most of us come from the Pit Bull Terrier world, so definitely everyone in here loves terriers. But yeah, as far as what you guys are talking about, I think it's something. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. Smelling above is not the same as in a hole. No, it's not. But what I was saying is that, I've seen dogs that do it, and then I've seen dogs that don't do it. So I think there's some dogs that just use their nose a lot more than other dogs. It seems like some dogs don't use their nose that much, really, at all. Not if they're awesome, but the callback period on the hunt come back to me. What do you mean not if they're awesome? What do you mean on something? Well, that's the thing. If you can't see them, you don't know. So they might be on something and you think they're not, and you're calling them back now. And now you done put your dog in danger because he's worried about you calling him back when he had hold of something. Now that something might have hold of him because he let go because you called him. So because sometimes you don't know, you gotta listen. Sometimes the dog disappear. You just gotta try to be quiet and listen and see if you hear a bark or a growl or whatever the case might be. I think that's the scary part for people too, though. Yeah, you meant on something. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, say if they go into a brush and they go into a hole, and you don't know what hole they went into, you don't know. You're gonna assume that you might assume that they're not on something, but you don't know. Yeah, exactly. You could probably call them back above ground, but I highly doubt that the in the ground with the good working tape. Yeah, and that's what I said earlier. Once they you might be able to call them back if they didn't find anything, but from what I've seen, if they find something and they go in that the ground, you have to get them out, and that's why you're a team, because they're gonna find it, and then you gotta get them out of there. You gotta dig them out. But from what I've seen, they ain't coming back if they find something. Even my dog Sin, if she went in a couple holes this weekend, and she was deaf to anything. She was just digging, trying to get to shit. And I mean, like I said, that's from what I from that's how you want them. You know what I mean? You want them that way. Or from what I've seen, that's the way. Even if I don't want them, that's the way. That's when it comes to the people in the Patterdale world that are actually hunting their Patterdales. That's how they want them. Big said I would never. Yeah, I know you don't call your dogs back, Biggs. He had me scared as shit when couple first time I went out there. But you know, I'm used to it now. I know what it is now. What's the GPS collar for? GPS collars for above ground work. Yeah, once the dog, we was just saying that once the dog goes in the hole, Griff, the GPS that vanishes. Like, so you might be like, okay, yeah, he's in this area because that was the last place I seen the GPS. You know what I mean? And it's gonna show that most of these GPSs show the last place. So you'll probably get the area, and then you might use the Bell and Flint. But then again, those Garmin or the GPS collars in general are normally too big. And then even if they're not too big, you don't want to send your Patterdale or any Earth dog into the ground with too many collars on, because it just gets stuck, and that can end up even a bigger problem. So, but GPS collars are normally used for dogs that are hunting above ground, moving fast. Like, a lot of people use them on, obviously, when they're hog dog and hogging or whatever, hunting hogs, because those GPSs ain't gonna go out because they're not going in the ground. Yeah, and I would agree with that too. That's right. Yeah, one. I mean, and people again, it's either they're gonna go in the hole and go, or they don't want none of it anyway. And you probably don't want that. You probably don't want that terrier anyway. You probably don't work them no more anyway. So, man of steel. I see Cinnamon's coming. Yeah, she's doing good. Yep, she's not showing. She got bit by a coon. Didn't show no nothing. Just kept going for the kill. She's a brawler. She gotta get a little better getting to the neck. Right now she just grab something and shake, brawl out. But she's young, she's learning. And there was an older dog there that did with a coon, he did go for the neck. And after seeing that dog, she kind of went for the neck a little bit more. But it's her first coon. So first time seeing a coon in general, and she had no hesitation, went straight in for the kill. So she's doing good. She gonna work. She was going in the holes, digging out the holes, wasn't worried about that. So yeah, she's doing good. She's doing good. We're gonna get her right. She coming along. She coming up. Griffin Land Company in the house. Griffin Land Company in the house. So why are you saying 2 minutes or quick comeback? Why you? What do you mean? So why are you saying 2 minutes or quick comeback? I mean, like, do you according with when the dog? not you calling them back. Like you got dogs that will go like, okay, for instance, my dog Cinnamon, she might go like as far as from what I've seen recently, she might go about 30, 40 yards, and then she's gonna come back to me. And then she'll might walk with me for like another 30 seconds, and then she's gonna go back out and like look around again. Then I seen dogs that will be gone for 8 damn minutes. Like you can't even like they just gone. Like they could be right there and you just can't see them because there's so much brush or whatever. But when they go in this way and then they're gone for 8 minutes and they come out all the way down there and catch up to you, like obviously they went in this way and scanned this whole thing and then came out that way. So that's what I meant by like coming back quick. Do you want a dog that like that like I said, my dog Sin that might go 30, 40, 50 yards and come back and then do that over again, and that's what it seems like she been doing lately? Or do you want a dog like maybe my bro's dog, Petey, where he be gone for like 5 minutes? I don't know, you know what I mean? He searched where he searched, but he be gone for like 5 minutes, and then he'll come back. So I was saying some people prefer dogs that will search, longer until they find something. Some people don't. Some people prefer dogs that might go further out. You know what I mean? Like a mile. But then again, how are you catching up to that dog? So me personally, I wouldn't want a dog that goes so far. You know what I mean? But that's me. Some people don't mind. And again, if you have a smaller Patterdale, you're not gonna be as worried. I mean, if you have a bigger Patterdale, you're not gonna be as worried as your dog going as further out because it can handle himself a little bit more. I heard it saying did her thing. Oh, Sin, yeah, Sin did a thing. What you what you talking into the chat? 'Cause luckily I know what you're saying, but yeah, yeah, Sin did a thing. She coming up. She coming up. She definitely looking good. She ain't showing nothing that you don't like. I mean that you don't want to see. She's going in the hole. She's digging. She's she's engaging with whatever it is in the hole. She's not hesitating. She's grabbing hold or whatever she above or in the ground. She's grabbing hold. She's engaging. So as far as now, she's doing. She's doing what she's supposed to do, and she's real small. She's like she's only 10 pounds right now. So as far as right now, she's probably she's the smallest. She's definitely the smallest dog as far as like the people I hunt with. As far as like my cousin and my bro and Biggs and some of the other people some other bros out in New York that we hunt with. Yeah, she's the smallest Pat right now, but that's good. She'll get up in them holes that the other ones can't. So, but yeah, she's doing good. She's doing real good. Anyone got any upcoming litters? Man of Steel, how many Patterdales do you have? And what's the bloodlines if you don't mind me asking? Just cause I'd be doing homework and shit. I know Biggs got the golden line, and all Biggs's dogs work. I didn't seen. I didn't seen. Oh, I'm not gonna say I've seen all of them because I haven't seen all of them. But from what the dogs that I've seen, and from what I've heard from people who has actually worked with all these dogs, so look out for the golden line. I know Biggs. That's Biggs's line, and all his dogs are workers. For anyone in here maybe looking for a worker, what was his name? Dapper Trapper. Did you currently? You was asking about the Belmont and Flint collars. Did you have you recently got a dog, a new pup? And if so, where from? Griff, are you gonna is that something that you're trying to like install into your pet? Is the recall? Foxy. When she started to heat, the last couple of days? But yeah, Foxy, I like Foxy. Foxy's long, skinny, got that white paw, kind of like a white sock. I like Foxy. Okay, so last couple of days, yep. Man of Steel. Okay, you got four, two Nuddle and two from overseas with no known blood, just working terriers bred to each other. Okay, two Nuddle, two from overseas. Well, yeah, that's what Nuddle. If I'm not mistaken, Nuddle's is overseas bloodline too. Was probably I think brought out here maybe like 10, 15 years ago. If I'm not mistaken though. Someone like Parker Biggs will know for sure. But I think the Nuddle and the Cocker was the overseas bloodlines that were brought maybe like 10, 15 years ago. I've been working on that with her since I had her just because of yeah, I mean she's a dog, so you want to work on a recall, but if you bring her out in the field and she's really turned on and really ready to work, that shit, she ain't gonna listen. That shit gonna go right out the window. From what I seen, you know what I'm saying. I'm not like I said. I haven't been doing this for 5, 10 years and nothing, so I'm no expert in nothing. But from what I've seen, the ones that really want it, the ones that really want to work, once they find some, once they go in the ground, that recall shit's out the window. So, but I mean, to each your own is your dog. I'm not knocking you. If I mean, some people would probably prefer their dog to have more their Patterdale to have more recall, but it could be a good and a bad thing. Definitely a good thing if you got a dog that would just go towards anything, like see a coyote and just try to charge at a coyote. Like then, yeah, you probably wish you had some recall on your dog, but it is what it is. That's why I asked. I know there's certain people that would bring a bigger dog out with their Patterdale just for that reason, just in case they run into something that's too big for a Patterdale. You know what I mean? So they might bring a bigger dog with them. And if so, what type of dog was it? Again, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people bring out lurchers and stuff like that. Okay, Dapper Trapper. My bro got a Mason dog, got me interested in the big dogs. I live like 45 minutes. Oh, well, good for you. I got a Mason and I live in Massachusetts, so I had to take a flight. Went out there to Tennessee, probably chilled with Mason, flew out there, landed that morning, probably cooled with Mason. He told me a whole bunch of stories, talked with him for maybe about 4 or 5 hours and hopped back on the flight back home. But yeah, if I lived 45 minutes from him, I'd probably have a couple Patterdales to be honest from him. So yeah, you're in luck. He's a cool dude. If you wanna, yeah, if you want, just if you get it, just make sure you work it though. Yeah, we don't do the get the Patterdales just to be couch dogs. If that's the case, don't even go get it. But you said you're interested in the big dog, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna work it. So yeah, if you get it, just make sure you work it, and then once it's proven, you can register it to the New England Patterdale Terrier Club, the official working Patterdale Registry. But it got to be proven, and there's steps you got to take on the website. But yeah, they're awesome dogs. Get one if you know what I mean. Something you're into, just make sure you work it. We're trying to make sure we keep the the working aspect of the dog alive, because there's a lot of people just getting them and the dog's just chilling. Dog's just sitting at home. So if you get one, work it. If you ain't gonna work it, don't get one. Respectfully. Yag Terriers, we talked about that on here before. I've never had one. I've had a friend that had one and he got rid of it because the shit was crazy. So from what I heard, there's just a lot to deal with. And they escape artists, they bite up the cage. Just from what I heard. And again, we had a couple people on here talk about them before, and for the most part, they pretty much said the same thing. Like they're a lot of work. They're a lot of work. And now, lately, I mean, I always pay attention to different, different breeds in the dog world, because here at Live Your Life Dogs, we deal with all types of dogs, not just Patterdale Terriers, but lately it seemed like the Yag Terriers, they're fighting them a lot, like overseas and stuff. So a lot of them are coming with like dog aggression. So that's been a problem in the Yag world lately, is that the dog aggression. But people like them. I'd probably get one if I had like the space or the time, but I'll stick to the Patterdales. The none of those stuff that was bred here in the States line better on function stuff. Okay. Small Yag would be fine. Some decent work, got a few more, but most on, yeah. Yeah, so, and that's another thing that the yappers make a lot of noise. They do better above growls that make noise, so you could tell where they're at. So they're more like bait, like what they call them, like baiters. Like they find something in bark or whatever. I think that's what they call them. I could be wrong. Yags are hard keepers. Yeah, like I was saying, that's that's pretty much what I hear about them from everyone. Man of Steel, I'm guessing you had one before or have one, but yeah, I always hear that they're like a headache. They're a lot of work. They're loud, and they they like to break up out of shit. So most of the time, you gotta reinforce your cage for the Yags. But again, I have no experience with them. I'm just going off what I've heard. But from what I heard, that's the problem. Yeah, Man of Steel says I had 4, I got rid of them all. Yeah, so and that's the reason why the yappers, they're a lot, like you said, they're hard keepers. So yeah. So I guess that could tell you a little about it right there, is that he had 4 and he got rid of them all, but he still has 4 Patterdales. So that shows you as far as like what Man of Steel likes and what he chose. But everyone that I know that had a yak said they got rid of it. I don't know if they don't got enough work for them, like they just got to work a lot more or whatever. But Big said too loud. Have you had one before, Biggs? I'm pretty sure you had. You had a whole bunch of shit. Jamie Parker says, "Man, it's still Yags will have you pulling your hair out. I've had a cross to use them or some damn hard workers. Yag, everything." So he had Yag and Patterdale Terrier crosses. Oh, oh, he got some coming. Everybody will see them soon. Okay, that should be cool. Have you had crosses before, Jamie? Park of the Yag and Patterdale. Is that why you're doing it, or is it something new you're trying? Oh no, you said it what? Yeah, so you've been using it. You've been using them. I'm all set with him. Big says don't care for him. Man, it still says I'll take a pat any day without thinking about it. They just make noise for no reason. I had to cross too. So yeah, the Yags are just yappers. And Man, it still said he had it crossed too. I'm guessing across to a Patterdale. And I guess at one point that was like a thing. Like a lot of people was getting or trying the Patterdale and the Yag Terriers crossed, but seems like it didn't work out too good because I don't know a lot of people that with them that have them. I had them years ago. I actually liked them, but still, will take a pat over them. Yeah, everyone I spoke to, that's pretty much the same answer. They had them, they liked them, but they were just just too much work, and they'll definitely take a Patterdale over them. Do you think, Man of Steel, Jamie Park, Pigs, because y'all dealt with them before? Do you think they're more game than the Patterdale, or they just extra in general? Yeah, Pat Jag. Do you think the Yags are more game than the Patterdale, or you know they're just extra? Like kind of like the Malinois and the Pitbull. The Malinois is not more game than the Pitbull, but they are just a lot extra sometimes. Like shit. Is that kind of like the Yeah, so they're not more game than the Patterdale in your opinion, man, and still they're just a lot more noise. Yeah, they're good for above ground. Jamie Park said, Biggs, wait till you see the Wookiees. So Jamie got some coming, which is crazy. So Jamie got some crossbreeds with the Yag and the pack coming. Too loud for me. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. That's all they do is yap. And from what I see, like, from what I see, doing a little homework online and checking out stuff, yeah, they are a little tapped. And they definitely bark a lot. Now that I think about it, I never seen a video with a Yag in it where the shit's not barking a lot. But obviously we all have Patterdales or seen Patterdales that it ain't barking until they see something and they find something in the ground. Yep, just extra. You do get some good ones, don't get me wrong, but they do better above ground. I don't think I mean I don't Are they considered earth dogs? I'm gonna have to let's see if there's like a earth dog list. No, if you look up detail breed for earth dogs. Yeah, they are in the list. I mean, there's a lot of dogs on this list. But yeah, I'll put a list up. So this is what they got on the list as far as like list of breeds eligible for the AKC Earth Dog test. So this is the list. They have the Yag. And of course they don't have the Patterdale because it's not considered a breed. It's a type. So yeah, they're on the list though. Yeah, Biggs is doing the his Lurcher Sam. He's gonna cross it with a Malinois, which is gonna be crazy. But that's not for another year at least, uh, right, Biggs? That's not because what's the Malinois only 6 months? So another year and a half at least if you do it right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've had some small one and go, okay, yeah. Like I said, yeah, they consider Earth dogs, so these dogs have ungodly prey drive. And you're talking about the Yag, um, right, Jamie? Oops. I'm not saying every Patterdale y'all cross is going to work, but I took two of the very best that I have from each end and bred them. There's been a few people who see them. Hey, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone in here, if they know who you are, Jamie, everyone knows that you know what you're doing. So you got it upstairs. I know I gave you the whole container. I don't think there's anything more game than a Patterdale, but that Yag puts a twist on it. Anything? Like like Earth dog you talking about? Or any dog, Jamie? You talking about Earth dogs or any dog? Okay. Okay. That's exactly what I was thinking, Jamie. When I started saying any dog, because yeah, I agree, but until we talking about a box dog. I agree, I agree. Yeah, so the has anyone, and I know this is Patterdale talk, but we always talk about other dogs too, because you know we love those too. Has anyone seen a Lurcher Malinois cross? And what would it be altogether, Biggs? You don't mind me asking, what would it be? Like obviously it's gonna be so it'd be 50% Malinois, and then what's in the Lurcher? Greyhound, obviously, and what else? Because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some nice, I mean, good dogs for hogging the coyotes and shit. Some borcoons. Yeah, I just never. Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, that's what I said. It seemed like in the past that it was done more in a bigger deal as far as people um crossing the Patterdale with the yak. So yeah, I'm yeah, nothing's new. It's just a matter of how new it is to you. Straight pat what? What you talking about, Biggs? When you said straight pat, you don't deal with the crosses is what you're saying, or straight pat is more game? Because we was talking about a couple of different things. Yeah, but has anyone seen um a Malinois and Lurcher cross or worked with one? Because I mean, to me, it sounds like it's gonna be like a awesome mix, pretty cool mix. But that's my opinion. I could be totally wrong too. It could be a fucking puppies could be tapped. Who knows? But yeah, has anyone seen one or worked with one? A Lurcher Malinois cross? I'm pretty sure it's sub out there. That's for sure. Let me see if I can pull up a pick of one. Oh, some of these shits look fire. Some of these shits look weird. We gonna pull it up. Shit, screen merch. So yeah, this dog looks kind of. This dog looks nice. I don't want to whip it. This dog looks nice, Malinois, Lurcher. Yeah, so it look how it like. That's how I would see. I would assume they would look like this. Big said I can't wait. But yeah, like I was saying, that wouldn't be probably to like what? At least another year, right, Biggs? Year and a half. As far as that breeding happening with your Lurcher and your Malinois. Or do you plan on doing it to Dream? Because I know Dream's a female and she's obviously older. So you plan on doing it with Dream or you plan on doing it with your younger Malinois that your younger Malinois? Oh man, only been an hour and 15. Yeah, we gotta talk for another 15 and get up out of here. I got a couple other things I gotta handle as far as you know, internet and dog stuff. But yeah, this was a good little episode. We're gonna definitely try to get more people in interview. Summer just started, people busy. Obviously, people still got work, and we're gonna I know 10 o'clock is kind of late for people too, so we're gonna try to do something where we do it a little earlier, at least some nights, so we could get more people in here. We'll also open up the chat where I could put the link. I could put the link to this live stream in the chat, and anyone who wants to could hop on in and talk about it. Anthony Jamie, what's the Woodz average weight? Take this down. What's the Woodz average rate? Wookiees. Well, how you say that? Is that how you say? Am I saying it right? Hope I'm saying it right. But yeah, we'll try to do some earlier shows so we can get more people in here. I'll be putting I'll put the link in the comments, which anyone will be able to hit, and I could bring them on in, and they could go live with me and talk about anything they want to talk about, or you know, just talk Patterdale. We're definitely working on getting some more people to interview. Definitely working on getting some big names in here. It's a little harder to them. From Star Wars. Okay. But yeah, sometimes it's a little harder for them. There are a lot of a lot of legends and big heads in this game are a little older, so that's another reason why we're gonna try to get some of these times a little earlier. To get some of them on here, get more people in here, and obviously it's a Wednesday night. It's a work night, so it's already, to be honest, not the best night. But yeah, we'll try to switch it up. Look on the be on the lookout for on this page. You could always go to the page and see and hit live and hit the live button and see when the next lives we have coming up. And I try to keep those updated. Make sure you look at the Live Your Life Dogs Facebook. Look at my Facebook, the PTCA page, the NEPTC page, and yeah, make sure you check. Just keep checking out those pages because those will be the pages where we'll post the event, especially if it's an event where we did it on a different day, a different time, just to let people know. Because everyone knows that we do it on Wednesday, but if we just decide to do it on a Friday, people won't really know unless we put that out there, and you won't know unless you see it. So yeah, just look out for the some of those because we'll definitely be. I know not. I actually just so you guys know, I might as well say it now, not this Friday, obviously, because that's July 4th. But next Friday, we do have someone I'll be interviewing on Friday. We'll probably still have the Wednesday live, and I'll keep you guys updated and let you know, on the several Facebook pages. Again, just check out those pages and you'll see. But yeah, as far as now, we'll be here next Wednesday and Friday. Let me check. I'm gonna just make sure got the date on that. Um, Friday the 11th, we do have someone that they can't. Wednesday's just not a good day for them in general, and they wake up real early for work. So yeah, we're gonna get them in here Friday. So look out for that. Friday the 11th, we'll be we'll be interviewing someone. If anything changes, I'll definitely again look out on the pages. I'll be letting you guys know if anything changes, because we're all adults with families and things like that, so anything can come up. But yeah, we'll be here next Wednesday, hopefully with an interview. But if not, Friday the 11th, we have someone already locked in for that day. So, and again, spread the word, hit like, comment, subscribe. Swamp Wookiees, because we don't swamp women. Yeah, iguana hunting is with all types of dogs and pellet gun and all that shit is huge in Florida right now. Yep. Friday, July 11th, we got someone we're interviewing, and so and that'll be the first show we actually do on a Friday. Be the first show we do any other day but a Wednesday. Actually, it'll be the first show we do any other day but a Wednesday. So yeah, be ready to tune in for that one, and hopefully we get more people in here. And spread the word. If you know people who love the Patterdale, like the Patterdale, trying to get involved, let them know that we do this every Wednesday. They could come in here in the comments and ask questions. And it's a little different from watching a YouTube video, because they might not answer something. They might not answer your question directly, or a question that you have, or a question that you might have thought would have got answered when you watched that YouTube video. But we're live here, so if you comment it, even if it's something that I don't know, because like I said, I'm still learning. I made this live for all of us to learn and to help me learn and to bring the Patterdale world together. Positive, always positive vibes. I know, in the past there's always been bullshit, but that's how the world works. But here we're positive vibes. We all love the Patterdale, and we're just trying to have fun. And again, like we always say here on this, it's us versus the rodents. It's us versus the game, the small game. So it's not us versus each other. It's not our dogs versus each other. Sometimes it is with the competitions, but it's friendly competitions. But it's not like it's not the box, it's not the pit. For the most part, it's us against the rodents, and we just have fun with these Patterdales and keep the work inside of the Patterdale alive is the main thing. If you got a Patterdale, or if you have a Patterdale, you should be working it. If you want to get a Patterdale, don't indulge unless you're going to work it, because we're trying to keep Patterdales as workers, trying to keep that aspect alive. But yeah, see you guys next Wednesday. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Everyone who comments, appreciate y'all. It always makes the show better when we get more questions, we get more people in the chat leaving comments. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. If they like the Patterdale, tune in. We're live. We're answering questions live. If they if they want to get into the Patterdale, this is the place to come and ask questions. Again, you can put the question right in the comment, right in the chat, and we're going to answer them. If I don't know the answer, we got people who in the chat that have been doing this for years, decades, whatever, more than that, some of the people in here. So yeah, tell a friend, let people know that this is what we do. If they like dogs in general, they could come here and learn some about the Patterdale. Sometimes we end up talking about other dogs anyway, because that's just how the dog world is. You know what I mean? But yeah. And thank you guys. Thank you guys. I see a lot of people saying cheers to the host. Appreciate y'all. you know, I'm just trying to, again, I made this so to bring the Patterdale world, to bring us all together more and learn from each other and have fun with it. You know what I mean? Just somewhere we come weekly, vibe out together, learn together, you know what I mean? Teach each other and just, you know, have fun with the Patterdale. And again, remember, it's always it's us versus the rodents. It's not us versus each other, you know. So y'all have a good night. See y'all next Wednesday. Till then, take care of your dog. Peace. Have a good one.